Hey book besties, I'm Haley.
And I'm McCayleigh. Welcome back to Two Chicks and a Plot Twist.
Season 2 is here and we're messier, moodier, and more obsessed with fictional men than ever.
Expect chaos and all the twists your TBR can handle.
Let's get plot twisty!
This episode is sponsored by Wounds, a raw and powerful poetry collection by Congolese-American author and mental health advocate Gemima Longodjo. What began as a suicide note transformed into a deeply personal exploration of survival, identity, and healing. Through minimalist and emotionally charged verse, Wounds sheds light on mental illness, grief, generational trauma, and the immigrant experience.
It's a moving tribute to anyone who's ever felt lost, unseen, or unheard. One of its most striking lines reads, "We can be more than this moment. We can be more than our heartbreaks, mothers and fathers." Available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and coming in indie stores soon. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. We are so glad that you're here with us today. We've got a super fun episode planned for you guys.
That's right. Today we're sitting down with Bethany Witte, who wrote The Mountains of Ebon.
Beth is here to talk not only about her book, but also something we're incredibly passionate about, which is plus-size representation in books and the importance of mental health themes in storytelling.
It's a really important discussion, and we're so grateful Beth took the time to share her insight and experiences with us.
Let's get into it. Beth, say hi, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Beth, and I'm the writer and creator of the Allwyn series, The Mountains of Ebon. It's my debut novel that just came out in December.
Yay!
We're so excited. Haley wrote it, but I'll go ahead and read it for everyone because we have a description of your book. And in the Mountains of Ebon, Eowyn is cast out and left to survive alone in a magical land on the brink of war. The kingdom is suffering under a devastating blight, infecting crops and threatening lives. As their queen fights to save her failing kingdom, Eowyn finds herself caught between political turmoil, ancient secrets, and the growing question of who she can trust. With danger closing in and a mystery that stretches back centuries, Eowyn must uncover the truth behind the blight, while navigating newfound strength, a blooming romance, and a world that wasn't built for someone like her.
Yay!
Oh my gosh!
All the chills, all the vibes,
Haley
and the
needs to write
drama.
my synopsis for book 2.
Haley is a genius. She is a writer, so get her in there. But wow, just get us started, because this, again, Haley had mentioned before, this has been such a long time coming, and we are so happy that you are actually here with us doing an interview. But what inspired The Mountains of Ebon to begin with?
So when I was a kid, I was always reading when I wasn't supposed to, right? In the middle of the night, in classrooms, when I'm supposed to be doing something random. But I've always just immersed myself into fantasy, something like fae, warlocks, magic realism, and the fae world. They just enthralled me in such a way that it's like almost impossible not to create your own world yourself. So when I was getting ready to go to bed, I was thinking about worlds and creating plans with my friends and building our own little stories. And it was such an exciting thing to be able to put something on paper that felt so real to me.
Right.
I love that.
Is there a certain book or movie that inspired the setting? Because it did kind of remind me of, like, little aspects of the Elven realm did remind me of Lord of the Rings, just a little bit.
I definitely tied in some of my pieces of my world to reflect I feel like most fantasy readers' favorite novels. So I really loved Merlin growing up as a kid on BBC. I really liked reading things like J.R.R. Tolkien's books, like Cassandra Clare, those names just really popped out on me as a kid. And
McCayleigh has not read anything by Cassandra Clare. I have to put
my
that out
gosh,
there.
I'm behind.
I don't know how she has
There's
it.
so many.
I know.
You have
So
to.
good.
I know.
This whole
I will.
episode's
One
just
day.
gonna be us bullying McCayleigh into reading things.
Yes.
Yes. I will be here just taking it. Yeah. I'll do it eventually. Romance and politics are interwoven throughout the story, so how did you balance those dynamics while keeping the focus on Eowyn's inner journey?
So I'm going to be honest, I completely winged it. When I was first starting in my writing journey, I was writing on Wattpad, As cringy as it might sound to some people
I love
who's
Wattpad.
never put anything on paper or the internet, some things, as brutal as people could be on the internet, you know, people receive your works on there and you post, some people post so often, like every day or every week, and sometimes they're received really well, and then sometimes they're not. So some of the things that ended up in my final copy of my book is just because the readers, my original readers on writing platforms, received it so well, or they did not.
It happens.
I used to write on it too a long time ago, like in high school and middle school. I used to be on there all day long. I would always read and like comment on the end of the chapter and be like, when is your next chapter coming out? That would be me.
Oh my god. That's
the type of readers that you are was like what was motivating me to finish my story. I was like, I can't get harassed on the internet. I gotta finish.
Something that I really liked about your book, Beth, is that your main character, Elwyn, she is plus sized, which is something that you really never see in any type of fantasy novel. I think the popular one that we read is Crescent City, and even then I don't think Bryce is like a true plus size character. Can you talk to us about making Elwyn plus size, and why did you think that it was important to create that sort of representation in your book?
I just really wanted to be part of the change that I was seeing on social media. And when I was a kid, which was not that long ago, because you know I'm only 26, but when you're younger and you're reading novels, and I would read books in a day, right? Like I would just immerse myself in that world and really take in everything that was happening in it. And I just felt like I never saw myself or my friends in the media.
Yeah.
I think the world oftentimes forgets to pay attention to people who don't fit the stereotypical standards of beauty, but they also forget that beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and plus size people are just as beautiful, and I just really wanted to be able to show that and portray that in my book.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think more fantasy books in general, more books in general, I mean, needs to have people who actually look like everyone else around you, because not everyone around you is a little skinny girl like this.
Yes.
So, yes, we need more people who look like us.
Yeah, I've watched too much. What is it? The Runway Show. I watched too much of that, and I still get on my TikTok feed about her going after these girls for being too fat, but they are twigs. I kid you not. Like, oh, you belong in the plus size department. Girl is probably 100 pounds.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But we've already evolved so much, and I do see that happening in books and movies and, you know, diverse everywhere, representation everywhere. And I'm glad that you are also contributing to this change that our world definitely needs to see. So plus size, very important. Everyone needs to see themselves in the media, and we've gone too long without ever doing that. But with all that, what challenges, if you ended up facing any challenges, but what did you have to face when writing like this plus size main character in a genre that often overlooks body diversity?
I think what I kind of struggled with is that the realism aspect of it, like sometimes they get overlooked about body sizes in fantasy, right? Which is what you were just saying, that plus size people oftentimes get kind of forgotten about. And I always think about, like, how did that skinny chick do all that if they described her as malnourished? You know what I mean? Like, how is she carrying this deer in the woods and she's like 100 pounds? You know what I mean?
Let me pick up this deer and take it to the village or whatever.
Insane. And I just felt like I wanted to be able to portray Ellen kind of as a real person, because when I'm writing, I see people in my head. I'm like watching a television show, a soap opera in my head, and I just wanted Ellen to kind of struggle like I do in real life.
Yeah.
Like, are we hiking up these stairs and still have breath? No, we're huffing and we're puffing. Let's be honest here.
Right. How did your readers sort of react whenever they found out that they're finally getting to read someone that looks like them, who is a plus size main character? Did it come off good? Was everyone happy about it, or was there some people that didn't really enjoy it, I guess?
Besides one person, I was really surprised at how support I got from the community. I got really lucky, and I had a lot of beta readers from around the world that wanted to be a part of my launch of my first ever book.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking that was so crazy because I had people from Ireland, Italy, Germany,
That's
Australia,
so
which just sounds so insane as some like random Midwest lady
cool. That is so cool.
that's writing a book, you know? The only negative backlash I've ever had was before my book was even launched, somebody wrote like a negative comment on Barnes & Noble about my book, and it was like a 1-star review. And I was like, my book's not even out yet. How can you write a 1-star review?
I know. People are
I hate
mean.
when people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, someone gave my book 1 star just because it was young adult. That's all they said. They said 1 star, young adult. Okay. I mean, you know, whatever. It happens.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And there are some heavy emotional undercurrents in the Mountains of Ebon. Eowyn faces isolation, fear, betrayal, among, you know, so many other things. But how did you approach writing about mental health in a fantasy setting?
I really wanted to approach it like to be as inclusive as possible. Mm-hmm. And mental health is something that I definitely struggled with as like growing up and like becoming who I am right now. And I think oftentimes books kind of gloss over the struggles of mental health. Like they're going through all these trials and there's no cracks in their persona about who they are, you know?
Right.
And when authors gloss over that, the reader, if they don't have those types of experiences in their life, they don't understand the vibe the author's trying to portray. And I wanted the readers to be able to understand the gravity of the situation and to be able to really connect with Eowyn and her story.
Yeah. Was there like a particular emotion that was really hard for you to write for Eowyn?
I really felt like probably the hardest part was to write like anxiety, because anxiety is not something that everybody feels the same way, right? The way I feel anxiety and the way somebody else feels anxiety is so different from each other because everybody's situations are so unique. And I felt like that was probably the hardest one because you're trying to connect with readers that, you know, you of course have never met, ideally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't your sister reading your book. This is like some random person in the world reading it.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Would you say there are any books or authors who might have inspired the way you approach mental health in your writing?
I would say probably, like, as silly as it sounds, like there are 3 books series that come to my mind when I think of mental health. And like the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I felt like Percy and Nico, like the son of Hades, like they went through so much, and you can see them becoming a real life person in your head because of the way they react to some things. Stephanie Meyer, as cringy as it sounds, like Twilight, when Edward dips and Bella's by herself, she's going through it. I feel like that really added depth to her character, whether you liked it or you didn't. And then I feel like Sarah J. Maas, I feel like she really did depression and anxiety some justice when she was trying to portray how, like, Feyre, like, what all of her experiences were, like, when she's underneath the mountain and then when she's going everywhere else. I feel like those really enhanced the story in a way that didn't feel, like, too odd, you know? Like, sometimes people add in these tropes or these experiences to kind of just add a hashtag to their book when they're trying to market.
Yeah, right.
And I felt like those stories at least gave it a depth that felt almost real life, that it wasn't just because they were trying to tag people along.
Right. Which Sarah J. Maas series is your favorite? Have you read all 3 of them?
I have not read all 3 of them, but I did. Crescent City.
Oh yeah,
okay,
so many people put that one off. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet, but I did. Like, I read ACOTAR when I was probably in high school still, and then it's like one of those books. I read it, and then I must not have finished the rest of the series because then when COVID hit, and I was like, man, what do I do with my life? You know what I mean? I can't work or anything. I started buying books on the internet, and ACOTAR was one of those that was like really popular on TikTok at the time, you know? And I was like, I'll give this a shot, you know what I mean? And I bought it, and it's like reading it, and I'm like, man, this is really familiar. Like, and so I had like read the first two books, and I was like, oh, well, now I have to finish it because I've already read most of it.
Man.
Did you read Throne of Glass? I asked. That's my favorite series.
I did. I'm actually looking at the copies right now. They're staring at me across my bookshelf.
So
I
funny.
love Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is like my favorite out of all of them. They're so good.
And which court would you be in for ACOTAR?
Yes.
I don't. Okay,
You give
so
off Night Court vibes, and that's like the highest, like, the best compliment ever. I feel like anyone could give
Debbie
a book
Ryan.
person. You give off Night Court, which I love.
I love that. I love that so much. That's where I would put myself.
Yay!
Yay!
Perfect. Yeah, I change mine every time, so I don't know.
Yeah, same. There needs to be like a court for people who like change their mind. They can like jump around in all of them and try them out.
All of the seasons and the days.
I just need a
in the
visa
corner.
to visit every court all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I need. A traveler visa. Oh my gosh. All right. And what advice would you give to aspiring writers who want to tell stories that center on marginalized identities?
I would say just do it, Be the change you want to see in the media, right?
Yeah.
You can't just expect everybody to kind of do it for you. You almost just have to be like the big girl of the story and just create it yourself, because the change you wanted to see as a kid will only happen if somebody's ballsy enough to be able to do it. And sometimes you
Right.
just have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
without spoilers, what can readers expect for the rest of your series?
I think without spoilers, which is the hardest part because your girl loves to jabber, I love to talk about everything my book related. I think my wife knows every plot point of all the books that I'm planning for this series,
She won't be surprised.
Yeah, right. She won't be surprised, but everybody else hopefully will. But I think part of, at least the second book, a lot of it follows along Ellen just becoming like, a boss of her own fate. She's not holding on to the fact that Lilia could come and save her, or somebody else in her found family is coming to save her. She's trying to be an independent woman instead of a damsel in distress, because oftentimes in books the damsel in distress is saved by a man. You know what I mean? And we need to sometimes just save ourselves, and I think that's really what Elowen is going to do on this journey. Plus we're going to new places, we're meeting new people, new characters, new gods. It'll be fun.
Yay. And then I'm gonna go off track again. My brain is like that. Who
That's
did
okay.
your book's cover? Your book's cover is so beautiful.
I
Did you?
Really?
It's so pretty.
Yes. Me and Canva are like this, right?
Wow.
It looks so good.
Me and Canva.
It
Yeah,
is amazing.
thank you.
Insert cover here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It's so
Right?
good.
Oh,
Thank you.
man.
I went through 3 renditions of covers before I landed on this one.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
You should have seen the first one. That one was a little rough. But we learned, we adapted, and we overcame.
Yeah. And
Trial
how many?
and error.
Yeah. How many books are going to be in this series?
I was originally planning 3, but now I can see myself kind of like in Sarah J. Maas's world. She writes people and then they eventually have their own series,
Yeah.
I have already started writing book 3. Book 2, I'm currently in the editing process. And every time I'm starting to introduce a new character in book 3, I'm like, man, this person could have their own series.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be 10.
No, that's
For
good.
sure 3 at
Yeah.
least.
Hey, ambition makes the best,
Yeah.
work.
Peer
So,
pressuring myself,
Yeah.
Can't in 10 books at least.
Hey, it shows passion, and that's what
Yeah.
makes it a great read. So
Right.
I absolutely adore that. And last question, if you could have dinner with any author, living or dead, who would it be?
I thought about this question so many times because I was like, this is peer pressure. I'm like, who do I choose? Because I just read so much, and especially I read so much as a kid. But I think probably Elise Kova. She is a fantasy writer. I kind of just love her so much. I think I've read almost all of her books. Maybe not all of them, but 90% of them. Right?
Oh.
She sends out indie author newsletters every month.
Okay. I have
McCayleigh's
not heard of
"Oh,
her. I'm
what is this?"
looking her up.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Elise Kova.
I found her.
She's cool. You need to read her.
Arcana is coming soon. Arcana Academy. Ooh,
yeah,
and I mean, that
so
cover
exciting.
looks pretty. That looks like something we would read, Haley.
I know. We need to put this on our...
Oh.
Beth is
You
giving
need
us so
to
many
read it.
ideas.
I know, yeah.
You
oh my
need
gosh.
to read it. Oh my gosh, if you had her on your channel after me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's because of me.
Let me send her an email tonight.
Right? Oh my gosh.
But she sends out indie author like tips and tricks, and I eat that up, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to like have a coffee with her or have a dinner with her and just like comb her brain and like shake her hand and be like, thank you so much, I love you.
That would be so cool. It's so nice that everyone supports everyone within the book community.
There's no gatekeeping.
Right,
Yeah.
no gatekeeping.
I hate
don't do that here.
gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners? Like, when is book 2 coming out? And is there a title for it yet?
There
I know
is
you're
a
still
title
editing.
for it. The title is called Oaken Ridge. It is a new place in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It actually hints at where it's going to be in the map of book 1. So if my readers can look through that and kind of see where there might be an opening, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for this year for my release date because I'm doing an author signing in Eau Claire, Wisconsin in September. While it might not be out by September, I want to be able to have like a spot for my potential beta readers to be able to sign up for it.
Right.
And I think that will be the best place for it, is a bunch of romantic-y romance readers coming to eat up my book.
Thank you so much for joining us, Beth. We absolutely loved having you. You are just a joy to talk to, and you're so chill, which makes our lives so much easier also, because we are so fresh into season 2, and you being our very first guest has just been amazing. But before we go and before we say goodbye, go ahead and let people know where we can find you on social media and everywhere.
You can mostly find my most active account on Instagram, author BJWK. I try to post there every single day, so come follow me if you want me to bother you.
Yay! We love an active Insta girl.
Yes.
All right. But again, thank you so much, and we hope to stay in touch.
Bye, Beth. Guys, well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. We hope that you enjoyed listening to our interview with Beth. We would love to hear your thoughts about this episode, so send us a message or comment on our socials.
Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting us. If you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, check out our Instagram or Facebook page at Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. There's a sign-up form in our link tree. From our link tree, you can also visit our website, sign up for our email newsletter, and check out our merch.
Yeah, guys, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Haley's.books.
And you can follow me on Instagram at McCayleigh Daniels.
Join us for our next episode where we will be breaking down the first 3 Harry Potter books. So excited, can't wait for y'all to listen.
And you can expect a podcast episode from us every Thursday. See you next time. Bye!